Hello, everybody. Chris Phillipson here. Today is Friday, December 5th, 2025, and welcome to episode one of Build With Me. This is just me deliberately practicing the art and craft of software development in the era of AI. I promise to keep these episodes brief, somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes, and sometimes I'll live stream, but for today, I'm just going to focus on a couple of products that I've been working on. One of them is Sindri, which literally in the last, 6 minutes, I was working on some stuff here, trying to get one of the providers uh, for this product beaten into shape. I was having some trouble with it. So, y'all are familiar with, uh, I don't know, getting a software environment together to actually do anything practical. You know that you need to install and configure tools, right? And that process can be cumbersome. It can be kind of hard to reproduce. So you want to automate that, right? And there's all kinds of environments and stuff like that that you could do. Like GitHub has got code spaces, and a good friend of mine, Nikki Pike, who's over at Coder, they have a product that does some things. And I don't know, I took a look around. I wanted to build some stuff, so I took some time to kind of investigate the space, and I built kind of a bundle that includes a client and uh, I don't know, some extensions capability, the ability for you to create sort of project templates. If you're doing development in different languages and frameworks, you're going to want to have different tools available, right? And I took it a step further and looked at how could I add things like profiles and whatnot. So the first product we're going to take a look at is Sindri here. And basically, to get started with it, you just clone this repo. And so why don't we do that? I did that already. Let's see if I can make this bigger and make that go away. So I'm sitting here in kind of a local folder on my desktop. And kind of the first thing that you're going to want to do, and I'm gonna do this right now, is you're going to run the client, and you're going to type sindri config init. And if you've already got a file there, which I do, it'll ask you if you want to override it. I'm going to say no. Let's take a look at that configuration. Um, so basically, you have a deployment stanza, and you can target different, um, let's just say, providers. You got one for Docker, so maybe for local development. Fly, that's a really nice, very simple hosted provider. That's, I guess, the main technology behind it is like Firecracker VMs, but I don't know if you've got background in Cloud Foundry and you know how simple it is to do a CF push. Fly is like the closest thing to that experience in my book. I'm a real big fan. And then there's DevPod, which is an open source project, and that allows you to basically kind of spin up VMs in different clouds, like AWS, GCP, Azure, DigitalOcean, stuff like that. So here you have a resource section, like how many gigabytes of RAM do you want to give the machine? How many CPUs, virtual CPUs, for example, you want to make available? Volume mounts, how big is the volume? Um, and then there's this notion of extensions, right? So you can think of extensions as packages or software bundles that you want to have installed. And so there's a number of them. They all live here underneath the Docker lib tree, but there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. We'll get to this in a little bit. You can pick a profile, which is basically a collection of those extensions. So Minimal will install Python and Node.js. Um, and then, you can either choose to have Sindri auto install these extensions, or you can wait to install them yourself using the extension manager. Um, and then there's a bunch of secrets, right? So, hey, you've got GitHub, you've got uh, your API keys to different AI hosted providers like OpenRouter, Google Gemini, Perplexity, etc. So those will get injected into the environment. Here you have sort of your provider specific configuration. So if you're targeting Fly, which we're going to do here in a moment, you can pick a region. You can kind of configure, suspend capability. So like if you're not working with this VM that you fired up, it'll basically shut itself down. And that, of course, is really cost effective, right? You don't want to be having something kind of running there idling if you're not using it and you're spending money on it, right? CPU kind, SSH port, blah, 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 blah. Then you've got your Docker provider, and then there's some kind of commented out config here for dev pods and the different targets that you can have. You could even target a Kubernetes cluster, and so on and so forth. So let's go back to the command line and let's deploy. If I could type. So what's happening here? It's creating an application on Fly.io, and it's asking me if I'm okay with the local SSH key that we're going to use for access later on. Yes. And so here, basically, it's going out and provisioning, a VM. It's a micro VM, a Firecracker VM out on Fly.io. So we'll wait a few moments. It's going to build the image. What it's going to do is it's going to take a look at the Docker file, which, where is it here? If I could find it. Right, it's gonna take this Docker file. This Docker file has a bunch of software kind of prepackaged in it. You could, if you're curious later and you want to clone this repo, you can take a look and see how this is all set up, right? But it's going to build the image. It's going to take that image and place it in a registry. And then it's going to spin up a VM and use that image for the micro VM that it's spinning up. So a few moments longer, and we should see something. Why don't, while we're waiting, I'm going to fire up some, I'm going to play some music here in the background. So what do we got here? Yes, we want to allocate IP addresses. All right. So let's do this. It's asking us right now, or basically it's telling us what we can do. I want to connect to it, right? So I'm just going to use the Sindri client. It's in the CLI directory. And there we are. We're inside our brand new environment. And let's validate that we've got both Python and Node available for our use. There's Python. There's Node. Um, some more things that are interesting is we use Sindri to spin up this VM. Well, guess what? The VM has the Sindri client and the extension manager installed into it. So we can type Sindri. Ooh, let's see. That didn't work the way that I expected it. Let's see if this works. Hmm. We have another bug or not here. Is it? Let's see. It's there. It's not there either. Hmm. I might have misspoke here. This might be a little bit of a bug, but I'm going to park that. The idea is that you have all the tools that you need to get ready. And in fact, I believe we've installed Claude, right? So we could type Claude here and let's see what happens. It's going to come up at all. Hey, look at that. So yes, I have a subscription. Let's do this. Copy that. All right, we're ready to go, right? With things that we want to do with Claude Code, right? We'll exit. So I hope that kind of gives you some flavor and some idea. If we exit here, we do one more thing before I shift to the next product that I'm working on. Extension manager, just say extension manager list. So here what you get is kind of a nice little list of all the extensions that are available by category. And you can kind of choose with the extension manager which ones you want to install on your VM. Looks like I've got another bug in my Fly VM provider where I don't have Sindri and the extension manager installed into it. But I will remedy that in time for the next time we meet. And we'll just park that, right? We'll put that in the parking lot and come back to it the next time we meet. So let me show you another project I'm working on. It's called Ample. So what's the next one here? Oh, wait a minute. Back up on the story with Ample. So Ample is basically uh, version 2 of a PR management dashboard software. I maintain a number of repositories. So like if we go and take a look at how many repositories I have, I've got what, 99? And a lot of these have got, like Dependabot and other softwares that are kind of continually tracking for updates of dependencies, things that you might have different version releases come out that address vulnerabilities or add new features. And, if you've got a lot of repositories, it can be cumbersome and not too much fun to go to visit each one and go through the process of merging those open PRs. So I was like, well, I want to be able to get a list and then do bulk operations. And yeah, that might be dangerous if you in the wrong hands. But let me see here. Initially I built this thing called Git PR Manager, right? And it's basically a CLI written in Go, and you can check for open PRs, and then you can do like a dry run for merge to see what would be merged, and then you can actually merge. And it'll go through and merge those open PRs. And you can set things like filters and things like that. So I was like, wait a minute, let me reimagine this. I want a UI, right? And so what was born out of that is Ample. I let's go back here. Let's look. There's only 11 commits. When did this start? 3 days ago. I didn't work on it all that much, right? Like we're talking 2 or 3 days. I used Claude Code, in particular Opus 4.5 model, and it just kind of helped me through product specification to implementation. I basically, I mean, the basic idea was I was like, hey, go look at Git PR Manager, build an understanding of all the capabilities there, and let's reimagine it. Build something, and now I want to build a back end in Rust and a front end in React and TypeScript. And over a handful of iterations and some commits that you see here, we now have Ample, right? So I'm going to sign in, and I've got a nice little dashboard here. Um, I've got 4 total repositories under management. There are 3 open PRs across all of them, and 3 are ready to merge, and none of them need any real attention. So this yellow symbol here means it's pending, and we can actually, if we wanted to, we can go straight to that repo and verify that there are indeed 3 pull requests, and there are, right? Come back in here. We can get a listing of the repositories that are under management. We can connect to GitHub. This is done kind of through an OAuth exchange. Some configuration was necessary to kind of pull this off, but we can do the same thing with GitHub, GitLab, and Bitbucket. So here we have a listing of all the GitHub repos that I've got access to, and if I want to onboard one of them, say this one, I can add it. I can add another one. I could add all of them if I want. But let's just add those 2. And you can kind of see here, those have been added. Let's go to the merge pane, and we can see kind of a listing by repo. What are the open PRs that are ready to merge? So I could actually just pick 1, 2 of them, and say go merge. So it's going to go on merge. And unless this is broken, looks like merge has failed. Okay, cool. Provider error, failed to merge. Status 422. Let's take a look at that. 2 failed. I like that feedback. I'll have to go and look in to see what this is, but like, I don't know, you get some sense of what I'm up to here. You see where I'm going with this particular product. What I want to be able to do with this is make this truly multi-tenant. You can have multiple accounts. And if we go back here to repositories, I want to change this up so that you could onboard multiple GitHub accounts. So think of it as an account to Ample is a one-to-many to a number of accounts with a number of providers, right? So I want to kind of make that possible here. There's some analytics that I'm going to get to here in a little bit. I haven't gotten to the implementation of it quite just yet. And then there's some settings here. So like here's your profile, how you're connecting, right? How you set up a connection. They've got some filters for how PRs kind of come into view. So I'm only looking at PRs that were opened by bots in this case, but I could turn these off and we could open this up to just about any PR if we wanted to. Yeah, just some other things there. Notifications, I'm working on Slack notifications and email notifications, and then just kind of configuring behavior of merge. So we've got squash and merge, create a merge commit, and rebase and merge. We can set some delay between merges. So like if we have multiple merges for a repo, you might want to wait before you merge the next one so you avoid collisions. so on and so forth. So, hey, that's a window into my world, stuff I've been noodling on lately, and I will come back again on Monday. Have a great weekend, y'all.